working on a 2011 Hyundai Genesis Coupe 2.0. Sharp looking car. It's just got a front crank seal leak. So looking down here, I mean, it just leaks a lot of oil behind the crank seal. So we're gonna get this thing taken out. We're gonna take out the radiator fan first so that we can go ahead and get access to it. Clip. Take a pry tool. Pop that out. And there's a couple of 10mm bolts. So that's loose. You gotta take the overflow line, pull it out. And then we got a wiggle woggle. There's coolant in there. Alright, so this can just pull out. It's got down there by the drain plug. It's got a little clip that it sits in. And then the same on the other side, you just can't see it, but it'll just pull up. In just a second it will. There's a 10mm here and a 10mm right here. Alright, 10mm are out, so now it's loose. It'll pop up and then you just gotta work it between all the hoses and the crap. So you'll see the struggle. So we got this out of the way so we have better access down here to the crank. And you can see there's a couple of places you can put some bolts into. So that's where I'm going to start in relation to get the crank bolt off. I got a little jig I'm making up. See, I have an impact, but it's way too big to fit in there. So I bought this garage door kit for like 12 bucks on Amazon, right? So the idea is to put bolts in through here that match to the crank as a holding tool. See, that's the garage door, and this is the same thing, only set up differently. Alright, so I got my jig set up. I mean, we'll see. I just need to hold the crank in place while I break the nut or the bolt free. So we'll just see if this works. And I've got my big 1/2-inch extension set up. So let's try it. And I'm using a cheater bar on this garage door thing. Sickles. Oh, that's tight, but it's holding. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna switch to my ratchet. Okay, and that's why I left that belt attached too, just to give it a little extra something. Okay. Alright, let me take all this crap off. Alright, so that long skinny bolt now has a bend in it, just from the pressure on it, so that sucks. I have to find another one, but it came off, which is important. So now we're going to move to taking the tensioner off, or the serpentine belt off. Make sure you pay attention to how that was routed. And then the other thing, mine's already set up this way, but you want your keyway to be at the top, because that little that little metal piece, if it falls off, you don't want it to be facing the wrong direction. So this should slide off. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can see all the oil leaking. And then that little metal piece right there, if it starts to get loose, it'll come out on you. Alright, that's about as good of a spot as I can get you, but I'm going to try to get my seal puller in here. Don't want to hit the radiator. It's starting to come out now. There we go. Yeah, that thing was just done for. Alright, so we gotta clean that up. Okay, so I'm just now seeing something. This ginormous gouge, that's from that bolt I was using that went through the crank. That just happened to dig right into here. That sucks. But luckily the seal's right here. So I'll just make sure there's no sharp edges hanging off of that, and we'll keep going. Alright, so seal installers. That's my new crank seal. I went by the store and grabbed a couple of things that would work potentially. So it's got a nice flat surface. Either one of these will work. I bought both because I wasn't sure of the overall diameter of that crank opening. If it's too big, then you know it won't work. So I'm gonna start with the fat guy, see how it works, and move to the skinny guy if I need to. But these are these 2-inch in diameter, just about. All right, so crank seal. I'm gonna put just a little bit of oil around it. Let me get you light. See, that one's too fat. Okay, I think that one's gonna work. Make sure it's going in square. I feel like that's going in too far on the bottom side. Alright, I got it reset. I'm going to try it again. Baby steps, baby steps. And really, we just want it to be flush. And you see how this little pin thing's moving out of spot. So we gotta stop and be careful with that. So that little bugger, if it falls back in there, then we're screwed. Alright, so I've been going around slowly, using my inspection mirror, tapping it in a little bit at a time to make sure that it's flush in there. And now we've got to deal with this. Alright, so this is the only crank I've ever had give me problems with these pins before. It gave me problems when I was putting it together the first time. Slow and easy. Let's see if that crank will go back on. Pulley, I should say. Hang on, I'm gonna put a mark on this. Okay, so I put a line that lines up with the notch on the pulley so I can more easily look overhead and make sure that I'm lining up so I don't kick it out of the way. See, I just touched it. Okay, so I put the slimmest little bit of black RTV on that. I'm not a fan of the idea, but I just need this thing to stop moving around. So maybe it'll be enough to let me slide the pulley on. Okay, seems a little sketch, huh? Alright, crank bolt time. And good news is I found some shorter bolts with the same thread pitch. So should be in a better position this time. Alright, so these crank bolts go to 130 foot-pounds, and I don't have that. What I have is 100 foot-pounds. So we're gonna take it to 100 foot-pounds and then give it the old ugga-dugga. So it's 100 foot-pounds right now. And we're going to give it a little bit more stank. Okay, that's tight. Alright, so now I just got to remove my tool and put the belt back on. Here is the belt diagram, so you guys don't have to print one off, but that's how it's going back on. And I showed you all the actual struggles, because you know, internet stuff makes it look easy, and then all of a sudden you got problems like I did. So anyway, I hope that helped you out. See ya.